What's up, guys? Got another UFC video here today. It's going to be on the UFC Fight Night card, UFC Fight Night 90, and it's going to be Doane versus Alvarez. So I've already done the early prelims of this. Like I said, they don't really have this separated here on the card. You see, it just kind of says prelims at 3:30 p.m. Main card at 7. So they don't really have it split up here like in like for early prelims on Fox Sports 1 and main card, because the whole card's on UFC Fight Pass, guys. But I've already done these 3 fights right here on the bottom. I've done like I said, these 3 fights from the Burns fight all the way to the Herrera fight. So I've done those 3 fights. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that they're the early prelims, and the main prelims would be the Makdessi fight being the featured prelim fight all the way through the Sanders fight. So let's go ahead and start with the Sanders fight here, guys. So we got Felipe versus Sanders here, Brazilian fighter against American fighter. So let's go ahead and open up their pages as always, just to check out what what they're about. So here's Felipe's page: strong kicks, fast hands, and athletic. Scrolling down over here. Let's see. So he's coming off a first-round submission win against Yves Jouban. Before that, he lost to the unanimous decision to Andre Fili. Now that was at 145, guys. One thing to note: this guy is now at 135, so he's going to be a little bit bigger. Seems like he fought most of his career at 145 and just very recently dropped to 135 against Yves Jouban. Let me see if he's 135er. Yep. So he's now at 135. Pretty much all his UFC fights are at 145 from what I'm seeing here. He did fight Yuri Alcantara in 2011. So this guy's been around, guys, in the UFC for a while now, since 2011 till now. So I mean, he must be doing okay, right, to still be in the UFC. Well, we look at his record here. Seems like he wins, loses, wins, loses. So this guy has no consistency. So that's not really good. But he is coming off a good win against Yves Jouban, where he caught him with a first-round submission. Yeah, not much else to say about that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next fighter here. So we got Gerard Sanders. His main skill set summary right here: wrestling. 36 years old. Felipe's 28. So Felipe's the younger fighter. Anyways, he's coming off a decision win against Doane, who is another kind of a good wrestler also himself. But this guy is obviously just a way better wrestler here. He's from the Oklahoma State, so kind of like that Johnny Hendricks type of thing. So this guy's gonna have some some pretty damn good wrestling. As you guys can see, they're really noting his wrestling here. NCAA Division I, All-American. So pretty much this guy's a really good wrestler, right? Really good wrestler. But anyways, in his UFC career, he lost against some guy named Denis Sedano. This was in 2014. Now, I don't know anything about this guy. Let me just check out his page. I'm not even sure he's still in the UFC. Alright, so here he is. This guy's summary: striking and jiu-jitsu. I want to say this guy looks like he's been cut already. I haven't seen him fight in a while. And yeah, his last fight, that guy's been on a losing streak. So I don't know, maybe they cut that guy already. Anyways, this guy was able to finish him with the TKO, doctor stoppage. I don't know if it was a cut or not. Did not see that fight, but anyway, he got finished right away. Then he gets finished again by Pedro Munhoz, who's also fighting in this card, and is actually the next fight here. A lot of these guys, look at Doane, Pedro Munhoz. I mean, if you look at that, look at that. The same guys, this guy has fought. This guy has fought Doane, and he's already fought Munhoz. He lost to Munhoz. He beat Doane. So a lot of this card here, guys, a lot of these guys fought each other already. So that's something to note here. So I've already seen a lot of this tape already on the previous, guys' fights already, because I was already doing my picks for the other guys. Anyways, so I was watching the Doane fight. As you can see, not much striking at all. It was all about the wrestling, and Gerard, being the better wrestler, pretty much was able to get the win because of the wrestling, I guess. I mean, he has 2 takedowns here on paper, 2 extra more strikes. Yeah. Anyways, so this guy's a wrestler. Seems very one-dimensional. He does have some submission wins. I'm not sure if he has a... Oh yeah, he does have a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So he does have a belt in Jiu-Jitsu. He has wins by submission, not much by knockout, even though he looks like a big guy. So yeah, guys. So for my pick here, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Felipe Arantes. So I'm not really too impressed with him either, but I think he's just the overall better fighter, more well-rounded. Felipe has jiu-jitsu, he has multi. He's coming down a weight class, so he's gonna be a more stronger fighter. 1-inch reach advantage. Overall, this guy's just the better striker. Obviously, Gerard does have the wrestling, but I really think Felipe should be able to stuff them takedowns. Also, another thing to know here, guys, Felipe lands a shit ton of takedowns too himself. As you guys can see, in a lot of his fights, he's landing takedowns. You guys look at that. His last fight, he did not land any takedowns, but before that, he landed 3 against Andrafili, who's a good wrestler also. Landed 1 against Maximo Blanco. Against Kevin Souza, landed 3. So this guy, he also throws his own takedowns. Now, do I think he's going to take down Jared? Probably not likely. But I want to say this guy's takedown defense holds up. And if not, he has the jiu-jitsu, to back, what do you want to say? To fall back on pretty much. So you guys can see right there, black belt multi, brown belt Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He has submission wins, so he could tap you out. Obviously, he's coming on a first-round submission win. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick the more well-rounded fighter here, guys. I think Sanders here is just too one-dimensional, too much of just a wrestler and a grinder. Now that doesn't mean he obviously can't win. Obviously, maybe he could grind his way to a decision. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Felipe Arantes. And I mean, just based on his last fights that he does win. I mean, decision wins, and he gets first-round finishes. Let's go ahead and just say Felipe wins by decision, guys. So that's going to be my pick. Next fight, Russell Doane versus Pedro Munhoz. So Russell Doane here. Let's go ahead and open up his page. So here it is. Summary of striking. Now that's kind of weird because I have not seen really that much like good striking combinations from this guy. To be honest, this guy seems more like a wrestler. As you guys can see, this guy lands a lot of takedowns. Alright, this thing's lagging a little bit. 7 first-round finishes. He has blue belt in BJJ. Anyways, this guy lands takedowns, guys. And his last 3 fights in the UFC, against Brimage, landed 3 takedowns. Against Yuri Alcantara, he landed 6 fucking takedowns. His last fight against Sanders, who's also a really good wrestler, he was still able to get 1 takedown. So this guy's striking, he does have power according to his record here, but I'm just not seeing much of his striking here. And then we look at Pedro Munhoz here, who's a very good fighter. He is coming off a loss against Jimmy Rivera, who's a really good 135er, guys. You guys need to watch out for Jimmy Rivera. That guy's a great striker, also a good wrestler. So that guy's on the come up, guys. Look out for that guy. So anyways, he lost to him. It was a split decision loss, so not too bad. Pretty much got outstruck in the fight though. Wasn't able to get Rivera down. Before that, he lost to I think he actually won this fight, but it's a no contest against Sanders. Before that, he beat some guy named Matt Hobar by a first-round knockout. So obviously, this guy has some power in his hands. What he really likes to use is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You guys look right here. He's a black belt in BJJ. Now this guy's training over there at King's MMA. Obviously, where a lot of good fighters train to sharpen up their multi skills over there with Rafael Cordero. So this guy, I think he's going to come way more improved with his striking. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to take this fight to the ground because Doane seems like he's a really good wrestler. Takedown defense, 62%, not too bad. And Pedro Munhoz here, his takedowns don't seem to be too good here, especially on paper. If we look at his fights, he lands takedowns against Hobar. His last 2 fights, no takedowns. Against Asuncao, Asuncau's a beast, and yeah, he wasn't able to get a takedown on him either. So his takedowns are not really good. So I want to say this fight stays on the feet, guys. And like I said, they have Russell here listed as summary as striking, and that for me that doesn't seem right. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the more experienced fighter and who I think is the more well-rounded fighter, and I'm gonna take Pedro Munhoz here, guys. I think his striking, his recent training here at King's MMA, he's gonna have better striking, and yeah, I think he just should be able to just outstrike Doane. I'm not sure if Doane is like has a weak chin or anything. I haven't seen his losses. Seems like he loses by decision though. It doesn't seem like he has like a weak chin and gets like knocked out or something. So I just want to say here that maybe if it does go to the ground, Munhoz gets a submission. But I really want to say this whole fight is going to stay on the feet. I don't think they're going to want to take it to the ground because of Munhoz's jiu-jitsu background. So on the feet, I think Pedro Munhoz just outstrikes him. And yeah, I think he's going to win by decision, guys. But it could also be a submission win if it does, hit the mat. So I'm taking Pedro Munhoz by decision. Next fight here, guys, we got Anthony Birchak against Delano Lopes. So let's go ahead and open up the pages. Okay, here we go. Here's Birchak's page. Summary: wrestling and slick submissions. Pretty sure he's coming off a loss against against Almeida. Yeah, so he is coming off a loss against Almeida. That was his last fight. So I was watching the fight. Wasn't doing terrible. I mean, as you can see, the strikes, he actually landed more strikes than Almeida did, even though Almeida got that first round finish. So he wasn't doing too bad against Almeida. Just obviously got caught and got finished pretty badly. He's not fought since then, so I'm pretty sure his chin has recovered by then, or by now, I mean. But before that, he was able to get a first round knockout against Joe Soto, who I think is a decent fighter, who's mostly a grappler though. And yeah, Birchak has some good combinations. Striking's not bad, good striking, and yeah, obviously some good power there. Before that, he lost against Ian Winslow. He got tapped out, but that's his UFC career so far. We look at Delano Lopes. This guy, record 19-2, summary jiu-jitsu. This guy's all about his jiu-jitsu. I don't know if he's a black belt or ranks and titles. Doesn't really say what belt he is under, if he's a black belt or whatever. Anyways, this guy has some damn good jiu-jitsu. 12 first round finishes, won 6 of his last 7, 4 wins by KO, 12 by submission, 9 by guillotine. So this guy's all about his guillotine. So that seems to be his money move, submission move, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So that's his go-to move, the guillotine. So yeah, Delano's last fight, I forgot to show you guys, was against Reginaldo Vieira, which I already talked about. That guy, he's down here. Anyways, I'm not too impressed with Vieira either. But yeah, anyways, Delano landed takedowns on Vieira. This guy seems like a strong guy. Likes using his takedowns, obviously, to be able to work his ground and pound and his jiu-jitsu game. But the thing here is Birchak is also, good on the ground and has some good wrestling himself. So I want to say this fight here stays on the feet, guys. And on the feet, I'm going to have to give the edge here to Birchak. I just think he has more power, the better striker. And like I said, I don't think he was doing super bad against Almeida. I mean, obviously he got finished in the first round, but I don't think he was doing like super bad. He was landing some punches. And yeah, seems like he lands a lot of volume in his fights. So I'm going to go ahead and take Birchak here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Birchak here, guys. Delano Lopes, he's only lost twice. So I'm not sure if Birchak gets a finish. So I'm going to go ahead and just say Birchak also wins by decision. Alright, so now we move on to the feature fight for the prelims, I think. Like I said, I think the main card really starts from the Dos Anjos, or from Pyle fight all the way to the Dos Anjos fight. So anyways, John Makdessi against M.O.E. Baghdad. So guys, this is going to be a really good fight. Both these guys stand-up fighters, not about takedowns at all. But we look at Makdessi's skill set right here for his grappling. This guy has no grappling at all, guys. Obviously he has some takedown defense, but this guy has no grappling at all. Like, I checked this, I was looking right here through his stuff, which I'm going to look through right now. His fights in the UFC, and this guy has never ever went for a takedown, and that's the weakness of Baghdad here, guys. That's just something to note there. Baghdad, he's a stand-up fighter, not a ground fighter. And alright, so here's Makdessi's page. As you can see, this guy lands a lot of volume though with his striking. Against Cerrone, even though he lost the fight, he actually landed a strike more than Cerrone. So look at that. Look at all these fights. This guy's been in the UFC since 2010. And look at all his fights, guys. You guys see right here, John Makdessi for takedowns, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You see all that? You see all those zeros? This guy has never attempted a takedown, or I mean has ever really gotten a takedown pretty much. I'm not gonna say he's never attempted one. I mean, but look at that. According to this, it looks like he has went for 2 takedowns, I think. But this guy has never gotten a takedown in the UFC, guys. So this guy, I think he's training with Firas Zahabi, who's obviously a great trainer, and I think, you know, Firas knows Makdessi's weakness here would be the you know, obviously taking him to the ground. But I mean, Makdessi has never went for a takedown, guys. So I want to say this fight's going to be all stand-up. But anyway, summary, well-rounded. Now I'm not going to say, you know, Makdessi's not a well-rounded fighter, but I mean, guys, this guy does not land takedowns, and if we look at his record, he's all about knockouts. He's not all about some, you know, he doesn't tap people out also. So I wouldn't say he's a well-rounded fighter. I would say he's a good fighter with you know, some good striking, you know, good boxing style with some really good takedown defense. But anyways, his last fight was against Yancy Medeiros, split decision loss. A lot of people were saying he won the fight. I mean, he had 34 more strikes than him. But yeah, well, I was watching the fight, and it looked like Medeiros was just on the outside the whole time. But I guess he was putting the pressure on him. But you know, Medeiros did look a little bit more busier in the fight, so I think that's why they gave him the win. Before that, he lost against Donald Cerrone. No shame in losing him. Cerrone's obviously, you know, a top fighter in, you know, the 155 weight class, and now he's doing really good at 170. So no shame in getting, you know, finished by him. But you know, other than that, this guy does not really get finished very often. Against Shane Campbell, another very good striker in multi-style, he was able to finish him in the first round. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at Mehdi's page here. Summary: elbow, high kick, and low kick. So this guy's very tall for the weight class, and also has way more reach than Makdessi. He has a 7-inch reach advantage here. Anyway, he's coming off of first round submission loss against Chris Wade, who's a good wrestler. And well, yeah, Wade being a good wrestler and also having good ground game, was able to finish him on the ground. Pretty much, this guy's takedown defense is not very good, guys. But as you guys can see right there, he has a world champion in multi, WKBC, and RFA champion in MMA. So this guy's obviously done very good in MMA, but he's really just a really good kickboxer. So guys, the way I see this fight going is, I think it's going to be an all stand-up fight. I mean, I know Firas probably going to be telling Makdessi to go for takedowns, but I really think Makdessi here is going to stick to his style of just staying on his feet. But then again, he is on a 2-fight losing streak, so maybe he will be going for takedowns, guys. But like I said, Makdessi's takedown defense doesn't seem to be very good at all. But I'm really expecting a stand-up fight here, guys, and I hope it is a stand-up fight. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the underdog here, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Baghdad. So I'm picking Baghdad or Mehdi here, pretty much because he's the overall better striker. Now Makdessi does put on a very good pressure on his opponents. He does come forward a lot, but I mean, I think Mehdi could stop that by landing some good kicks and, you know, just hurting Makdessi in the clinch. Also, this guy has some nasty elbows. You know, I want to say Mehdi, you know, style striking is kind of similar to Cerrone's, but I think Mehdi's a lot more polished and a lot more better than Cerrone in the stand-up. So I think Baghdad will, you know, use low kicks, or use head kicks, and overall just use that multi-style, good kickboxing style, and just kind of just outstrike Makdessi, guys. That's the way I see this fight going. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Baghdad here to win. Baghdad, his fights, you know, he really finishes people. Makdessi has been finished by Cerrone. Could happen again. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say Baghdad here is gonna win by second round TKO, guys. So that's gonna be my pick. Baghdad by second round TKO. Alright, guys, so those are my picks for these 4 fights. I have Felipe winning by decision. I got Pedro Munhoz also winning by decision. Birchak winning by decision. And finally, Baghdad winning by a second round TKO. But I mean, I could also see it going to decision anyway. Just, you know, outstriking him and whatnot. So yeah, guys, those are my picks. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you guys don't have DraftKings, check out the DraftKings link below in my description if you guys want to join. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'll be doing a video on the main card very soon. So that's gonna be it. Catch you guys on the next video.